Around 630,000 people are living with epilepsy in the UK. But if you were to see someone have a seizure, would you know what to do?
New research by Epilepsy Action shows that 50% of people wouldn't know what to do, and 1 in 3 would just walk away.
So, could you be someone they could count on?
Welcome back to this month's video. My name's Jamie.
And I'm Emily.
And we're here to tell you all about our latest national campaign, Could I Count on You?
Yeah, we're going to go into much more detail on this, and we'll also be covering our annual fundraiser, National Doodle Day, which is celebrating its 21st birthday this year.
So make yourselves comfy, grab a cuppa and come and join us, and make sure that you hit the like button to let us know you're there. This September, we launched our Could I Count on You campaign, reaching millions of people across the country.
Now, the aim of the campaign was to spread awareness of how to help people if they were having a seizure in public. We unfortunately know that many people have had different experiences of having seizures in public. Some of those are good, some of those are bad, and we know that these bad ones need to change. We need to remove the stigma and the fear that can be around seizures.
You might have seen that we had some posters across some of the UK's biggest cities. For example, there were some in London, some in Leeds. People have sent us them from Manchester. We also featured on radio stations across the country. We reached hundreds of thousands of people through our social media campaign, which you might have seen. But more importantly, we felt that we shared real stories and real experiences, and that was really a really important part of this campaign.
Yeah, definitely. They were really eye-opening and quite moving stories that people shared. So hearing those stories from our supporters, both positive and negative experiences, were really, really powerful and a huge part of this campaign. So thank you to everyone who opened up and shared their story.
Yeah, and we thought we'd just share a few of those with you right now.
I wish people knew that it's an everyday thing.
I didn't know anything about it, and now I'm expecting other people to know about it.
I think there's a stigma around epilepsy because people don't understand it.
Having somebody film me and me being able to watch it back and seeing myself is scary as hell, but educationally it's incredible.
It's important to count on members of the public because you could save someone's life.
And I do think that it's important that people can count on universities, because at the end of the day we just want to learn, we just want to do the same as everybody else.
There's not just one vulnerable person, as in the person that's having a seizure, there's two, because a child can't fend for themselves, whether they're a few months old or even a teenager. It's a scary thing.
Please don't panic. It's not a panic situation and we're not scary monsters. It might look scary, but please remember it's a person.
A little action can make a lot of difference.
I'd love for the public to just be curious about epilepsy.
Could I count on you to recognise me having a seizure?
Well, what an amazing and I'd say successful campaign. We've had nearly 500 members of the public sign up to become an epilepsy ally now, and I think we can get more, to be honest.
Yeah, so if you haven't already, you can sign up on our website, epilepsy.org.uk/count-on-me. Tell all your friends, your family, your colleagues. We want everyone to be an epilepsy ally.
Now, I can't believe it's that time of year again already, but we just held our annual National Doodle Day auction, which celebrated its 21st birthday this year.
If you don't know already, Doodle Day brings celebrities, artists and illustrators together to create lots of artworks, which are then auctioned off, and all the money comes directly to Epilepsy Action to help us to continue with our amazing support services, to help us create campaigns and so much more.
Earlier in the week, we caught up with Doodle Day lead Michael here at Epilepsy Action.
Hi Michael, welcome to our monthly YouTube video.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we brought you on to talk all things Doodle Day, and as you guys can see, we've got a lovely display of some of our amazing doodles. So you've been running Doodle Day for quite a while. How long have you been doing it for now, and what do you enjoy the most about it?
So I've been working on Doodle Day for the last 4 years since I joined Epilepsy Action, and it is my favourite piece of work that I work on. I think it's just really cool. The calibre of art's changed so much over just the last 4 years alone. I think when I took it over, it was very doodly, a lot of just like kind of quick sketches and whatnot. And I think you can see from like the collection even we've just got here, it's really developed into incredible art pieces. And it's just like a nice community of people that support us every year. They put so much time and effort into creating amazing bespoke art pieces just to raise money for us. And, you know, some of these artists who art is their profession, they could sell these pieces for hundreds and make the money themselves, but they're still willing to give that time to support Epilepsy Action, which is just really nice.
Absolutely. So can you tell us how many doodles we got this year and how much we've raised so far, if you know?
So we've got over 300 doodles. I think there's 302 to be precise, which would make it the second biggest auction just based on numbers that we've ever had. And at this moment in time, the auction is on over £10,000, which would already be the third biggest doodle day ever, which is fab. And usually we see a massive spike in the auction in the last kind of half an hour when people start getting their final bids in. So this is really exciting. And then we've raised a couple of thousand from things like the Olivia Colman merchandise we launched this year and some of the virtual art stuff we've been doing. So all's on track to be very exciting.
That sounds amazing, and some really good numbers there. Now, National Doodle Day is celebrating its 21st birthday, which means it's been running for 21 years, which is a really good time to keep something like this going. What do you think makes it so special and keeps artists and celebrities and illustrators coming back and doing it every year?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think at the moment, it's a really lovely sense of community. There's a lot of people that, when we post on the National Doodle Day social media channels, they've kind of discovered each other through Doodle Day, and it's really nice to see certain artists and illustrators really encouraging each other each year. There's a few that's like, oh, I love what you've done this year, here's mine, and it's just really nice that people have come out to do that for us. I also think for the celebrity side of thing, it's a really simple and easy way for them to get involved and support a charity. I know there's a lot of people that ask quite a lot from celebrities, but all we're asking is a little sketch from them, a little doodle, and even the simplest doodle can make a huge difference. For example, Sareen McKellen has just drawn a really quick sketch, and at this moment in time, that's on £750 in the auction. And, you know, every celebrity has to be in a car at some point. They have to be on the train. They've got 5 minutes to draw a quick sketch, and it's the simplest thing that they could do to make a huge difference for a charity.
Absolutely. Are there any celebrities that you'd want to give a particular shout out to this year? Obviously, you said Sarah McKellen, but is there anyone else that's stood out this year?
You know, I want to give a bit of a shout out to some of the comedians that are involved with Doodle Day this year. Anaya Magliano, Stevie Martin, Phil Ellis, Fatia El Gore. Those four have been sharing so much on socials. We set up a little bit of like a faux Taskmaster style task for them for which one of them wants to raise the most. And all four of them have really got on board with it. They've all been kind of like competing with each other on their socials, trying to raise as much as possible. So that's really exciting and just really nice to see them engage with us so much.
That's lovely. Go them and yeah, go check out their doodles on the auction. Now, this is a harder one, and if you can't answer, that's okay. But do you have a favourite doodle from this year?
Oh my goodness. There's part of me that doesn't want to say because I don't want anyone to outbid me on it. I obviously always am a massive fan of R.W. Ali's Paddington, but I will never win that, so that's fine. And a little bit of a special one is Bob Sutcliffe, who's an illustrator who was part of the National Doodle Day event we did this year. He did a portrait of my cats for me this year, just as part of like the Doodle Day stuff. So that was really lovely, and that's a special favourite. But I also really like this one that I've got here, which is by Eleanor Hopkins, which is like a little polar bear riding to a puffin island. And I just think it's really cute, and I love polar bears. So yeah, maybe that one.
Amazing. That's great. And that's all the questions we've got for Michael. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, amazing.
Happy Doodle Day.
Happy Doodle Day.
Now, earlier in the week, Epilepsy Action hosted its first National Doodle Day event. The night was filled with doodling activities, catching up with some of our artists and celebrity supporters. There were some incredibly moving speeches for our guests as well. Now, one of those who shared their story is artist Emma Dearling, and she's been living with epilepsy for many years now and has been a long-term supporter of ours. And her story is just incredible. So let's take a look now.
So I'm just going to do like a little overview so you get like a full kind of rundown about me and where this kind of came from. So, hello, my name is Emma Dearling and I live with epilepsy, like I'm guessing quite a few of you here do. I was diagnosed at 23, but looking back, the signs have been there for quite a while. So today I wanted to share my story, not just about the challenges, but also about how epilepsy has shaped who I am and how art and illustration helped me find my voice and my purpose. Can you tell I'm nervous? Oh my God, I just need to chill. Okay, so my diagnosis came after waiting 9 months for an appointment that lasted just 5 minutes. Literally a couple of taps on the knees and a chat, and he was like, yeah, you've got it. I was like, great, that's life-changing. Cheers, thanks for the leaflets, bye. So yeah, I had tests later that revealed I have focal seizures in multiple parts of the brain with ictal asystole. I hope I'm saying that right, because I have no idea if that's the correct word. I think I've been told I've said it wrong multiple times. So, which means during a seizure, my heart actually stops, which, Bob, I'm sure you can relate. So to confirm this, I spent a week in hospital where doctors withdrew my medication and they deprived me of sleep to deliberately trigger a seizure. Don't worry, it's not a form of torture as much as it sounds like one, but at the time it definitely did feel like it. So I had an implantable loop recorder that showed just in 1 year my heart stopped 3 times during seizures, and on Christmas Eve I had a pacemaker fitted after my heart had stopped for over a minute. It was really scary, but I had no idea what was happening, so I was in La La Land, so it was great. Well, then 3 weeks later, sorry, just to add to the drama, they had to redo the surgery because they did it wrong, and there was actually a wire making my diaphragm doing a little party over here, which was a bit freaky. But we moved. So yeah, clearly I'm a bit unlucky when it comes to medical stuff. So that's a lot to take in at any age, but especially in your early 20s, it's a bit scary because it just changes everything. And I think at any age, it changes anything. So epilepsy just hasn't just affected my physical health, it's impacted my work, my relationships, my mental well-being. I think, as you'll probably know, I faced workplace discrimination, a lot of rejection when applying for jobs. I've lost friendships and even a long-term relationship. Good riddance. And on top of epilepsy, I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, as you can tell, and most likely ADHD. For a long time, I was told I was just overthinking or following some kind of online trend, but actually learning about ADHD explained so much about me. It was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Literally, this drawing here. So what I realised is that seizures are my body's way of showing me when I'm not looking after myself. So when I'm not eating, drinking enough water, sleeping or resting properly, my body was forcing me to basically pay attention. It's taught me to respect my limits most of the time and to listen more closely to what I need and to understand that my body isn't my enemy, it's my guide. You may not agree, but that's how I'm trying to look at it. The only predictable thing that epilepsy has is its unpredictability. So medication has been another challenge. I've tried most of the standard options, whatever that really means. And I've had the side effects, classic ones, fatigue, anxiety, low mood, and they've been very difficult to kind of deal with. I'm now on a newer American medication which helps, they say, but we'll see where that goes. But that brings new uncertainties, especially around the future and family planning. It's only been around for like 10 years, so in medical terms, there's not much data in terms of wanting pregnancy. And, you know, I would quite like to have my own children one day, but again, we move. We'll see how that goes. But through all of this, I've become more resilient, more self-aware, and more intentional about the people I surround myself with and the work that I do. And this is where illustration comes in. So when the workplace doors closed to me, I decided to create my own. I became a self-employed illustrator, and my art became more than just work. It became therapy, it's self-expression and advocacy, really, and education, I guess. So through my illustrations, I share my honest experiences of epilepsy, mental health, neurodiversity. Art helps me process my own journey. It helps me feel seen. Helps others feel seen too. You just need to look at my many stories that have been shared in my Instagram DMs. I'm not complaining. It's quite nice to know that I'm not alone. And art's always been my constant. through the good, the bad, and the very uncertain. So creativity gives me back the control when epilepsy sometimes takes it away. That was so nice. Thanks. So Epilepsy Action, that's why we're all here, has been such an important part of this journey. Their website has been a reliable source of information when I needed clarity. Through their social media, I felt a part of the community. Oh, God, I'm really crying now. I can do this. And as I mentioned before, they were the first leaflets I was handed in that first 5-minute appointment. So they've been there through the whole journey. So I love them. So I fundraised through like Tough Mudder, and that was really tough. But taking part in National Doodle Day I've absolutely loved, because that's where I find the most joy. It combines raising awareness with my love of art, and now being here, sharing my story, it feels like things have come full circle. So yes, epilepsy has brought challenges, but, oh God, my voice is shaking. Chill. But it's also given me resilience, self-awareness, and a sense of purpose. If there's one thing I'd like to leave you with, it's this. Sometimes the things that feel like barriers are actually guiding you towards where you're meant to be. For me, that has been illustration, creativity, and community, much like the one I see in front of me in this room today. Thanks.
Well, September has been an absolutely amazing month, and I think it's one of the standout from this year for me.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely agree. As you guys know, it never does quite stop here at Epilepsy Action, and Doodle Day is not over yet. We have an additional raffle that will be held next month, so you should keep your eye out for that.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that not everyone has thousands of pounds to spend or bid on one of our doodles, especially for the more high-profile artists. And so we're opening a host of raffles where you can purchase a ticket for just £10.
So for £10, you could be in with a chance of winning a doodle from Alice Osman, R.W. Ali, Axel Scheffler, Ralph Steadman, and Jason Cockcroft.
Oh, I think those are some pretty cool names.
Pretty cool.
And some of their pieces are actually worth up to like £4,000 for an original artwork. So it's an incredible chance to win these special artworks for just a tenner.
Fraction of the price. The raffle opens on the 13th of October and it will run for 4 weeks. So you can head over to our website if you want any more information.
Well, that's all for this month. So thank you so much for watching.
Make sure you've liked, commented and subscribed or shared. And of course, please do follow our socials. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.